Good evening, everybody. Let's see who is going to join me tonight. I've got two cameras set up today. One here looking at YouTube and one here looking at Instagram. So today I'm gonna try to take it very easily, no pressure on me. I do so many live streams in a week, in a month, but every time I go live stream, guys, believe it or not, I always feel that a little bit of pressure on me, that kind of showman pressure on me. I don't know why I still feel like that. And that's probably what happens when you do something that you love and you always want to make sure that is perfect. So let's crack on. Let's start with some ties that I believe that you guys should be looking at and that are really worth looking at together. To start with, I want to show you my Ramona blue from our shirt collection, and you can see how beautifully the collar stands when you don't wear a tie. I think it looks very sleek. One of the things that I hate the most when it comes to ties, to shirts, is that they get the collar squished under the jacket like this, and that is because the collar band is not high enough so the collar can stand proud above the shirt, the lapel, if that makes sense, the jacket. So I'm also wearing my Spartaco braces. This is the old edition with just button fastening, but the edition that we've got now available on the Roma1980.com is the you've got the clips and the braces with the leather fastening for buttons. Grazie Bjorn, wearing a Ralph Lauren suit. So I'm gonna try to take my time in answering everyone. Hi Andrew, just did the shirt a couple of days ago, arrived to the Iraq in a week. Fits great. Oh, that's very good. You know, one of the things that I'm the most proud of when it comes to our shirts, guys, is the fact that they actually fit pretty much everybody. And that was my biggest fear initially, to make sure that actually the shirts fit everybody, as many people as possible. Obviously, they're not going to fit everybody completely, but the study into the fit of the shirts was rather relevant, I would say. So, the first tie that I want to share with you, I'm going to turn down a little bit the music because it's doing my head in. There you go. The first tie I want to share with you is Romina lightweight vintage tie. Now, I said this before, when it comes to wearing ties in the summer, one of the things I like the most is wearing ties that are a little bit more lightweight. It does feel nice, especially if you're wearing a lighter weight suit, which is not what I'm doing today because in England it's pretty miserable. And it's not the warmest day, I would say, like always. But if you do wear linen, if you are blessed to live in a country where you can show off some lightweight suits in linen, for example, it's good to have them accompanied by a equally lightweight tie. And this one in particular has a beautiful under pattern. Can you see it? This is for YouTube and this is for Instagram. So it's got a beautiful foliage under pattern here, which is very unique. So I'm going to proceed to knot in this beauty. When it comes to lightweight ties, guys, you have to be more cautious and more careful than you usually would be when it comes to knotting ties, because a lightweight tie, the reason why it's lightweight is because either the lining or the skin of the tie, meaning the outer silk, are rather light. So it's easier to kind of scrunch up the knot in a very tiny little knot that has got no volume whatsoever. So you need to be very, very careful with when you knot your tie, and you need to make sure that the tightness happens here, not here. And that's what I do. Look at this. The knot here is rather loose, in fact, but the tightness is up there. So it's important that when you tighten your knot, you do not scrunch it there, because if you do so, a lightweight tie will reduce the knot in a very tiny little knot that nobody really likes, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So this beauty. Ciao Fabrizio, ti ringrazio tanto. Mi piace tantissimo vedere che ci sono sempre più persone che mi seguono dall'Italia, perché in Italia c'è sempre questa tendenza ad andare a non seguire gli italiani e mi fa sempre più piacere questa cosa. Comunque, let's switch back to English. So this beauty is now available on theroma1980.com and it's just unbelievable. The next one, today I'm wearing collar stiffness with my shirt, and I do love it sometimes. If I wear a navy suit, I do like to go a little bit more formal. I do like, especially this suit, not in navy suit in general, is when I wear this navy suit, which is very corporate, I like to go a little bit more corporate on the shirt as well and everything else. So, in fact, I'm wearing some penny loafers in black and some dark charcoal grey socks. Simple. The next tie I'm going to look at together is Rita. Another beautiful lightweight. We've got a little bit more length on Rita. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform a Windsor knot for you. A Windsor knot with the vintage tie, okay? That's a challenge for those who really know what they're doing with their ties. Because obviously, the more steps you have got to go through to perform a knot, the more chances there to kind of mess up the tie along the way. So once again, I believe that this is, I made it extremely low. So probably I didn't, what's the length of this tie? I remember it's 152, that's why I thought it was a bit longer. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to redo it again. I'm not going to leave it there. Because I wanted to share with you, again, how loose the knot is, where the dimple is. Hopefully I got the right length here. Well, let's ignore the length for a second. So here the knot is rather loose. Here is very loose. Look. So when I go up, it's still a little bit short at the top. It doesn't matter. Let me pass this, okay? The reason why it's short, because this isn't a tie that, based on my height, should be, and where I'm wearing my trousers today, should be Windsor knotted. Okay, so in fact, as I said, I would not be doing a Windsor knot on this tie. The tie is not long enough to perform a Windsor knot and to touch the band, okay? But let's forget about it. The important message for me is that this comes across. The fact that the tie is not tight here. It's very, very loose. Can you see? So beyond is there. Beyond, this is a shape that it really is one of your worst enemies. And as you can see, the shape that you like is still kind of, can still happen. It's all in here, and it's a lot to do with making sure that this area is not tight, okay? So I'm gonna move on to another beautiful tie that I personally designed and I'm very, very proud of. It's called Milano. And I'm going to change blazer. So Milano, it's a broken regimental stripe tie that I personally find, well, I designed it, extremely sophisticated. I do like the shades of greys going into the black And I do like the fact that these greys end up in a spotlight color, in a beautiful royal blue base. I think that I love this tie. I find it a little bit sexy badass, if that makes sense. So this is the right tie probably to Windsor knot. And I'm gonna go with it, okay? Beautiful finish on the jacquard of this tie. It's very tender, and I think I still made it a little bit too short. Let me redo it. There you go. Let's have a look now. It's nice to see I've got more people watching on YouTube. I like that. The TikTok profile is actually growing. I was not expecting that. And so if you want to follow me on TikTok as well, I'm also there. I'm not into TikTok a lot, but by the way that platform is growing, I'm going to have to be into TikTok to an extent. Come on, guys. This tie is just, I got the length bang on, literally. And I just think it's beautiful. I'm gonna pop on a different suit, just a jacket, to see how it works with grey. Shall we do that? I would probably not pair it with these braces. I would probably pair it with either the grigio braces from our collection, or just some black braces would do, or navy braces would do. Any colors that is replicated in the tie would work. Someone asked me, per come sei vestito sopra sotto si possono mettere dei jeans tasca a filo? It's a very good question. So someone asked me if I could wear a pair of jeans with the navy jacket that I was wearing earlier. It's a little bit of a trick question, that one, because let's put it this way. This is something I always said. It all depends on why you dress. Classic. Why you wear ties, why you wear shirts, look at this. Why you wear suits. If you want to wear them classically, if you want to wear them like a gentleman, you can't put really jeans with a blazer, with a suit blazer. You can't do that. It's very much of a contradiction. But if you want to kind of be a little bit more have a little bit of a flair about yourself, just do what you want. That's what I say. I do what I want. So this is Milano. Looks like my father is watching me as well. Papa is watching me. And my mother on YouTube. That's a good thing about YouTube. Mom doesn't have Instagram. So doing live streams on YouTube gives her access to her, to the information. So this is Milano, and with the Ramona shirt looks absolutely impeccable. I really, really like it. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna show you again. It's beautiful. While I'm a knot in this tie, I'm gonna move on to another topic that I was looking at the other day. There was someone on Instagram I was watching the other day saying, gentlemen, if you're wearing a suit, wear socks. No one is interested in your ankles. I have got a problem when people speak like that. Can you feel that? This is a beautiful madder tie, okay? I'm gonna do a Prince Albert here. So I've got problem with people stating this is right and this is wrong. Because people like us who are on social media influence the audience quite a lot, and they can influence in a good but also in a bad way, okay? So when we come on Instagram, on YouTube, and we start stating things that has to do with how people dress, could create issues in someone subconscious. Because let's suppose someone feels very comfortable and confident in wearing a suit with no show socks, like I do, for example. I like it, okay? As long as it's done the right way, okay? Things have to be taken into considerations when doing that type of matching. So if someone comes on Instagram and says, don't do that, it creates a problem. It was a skokie. In fact, it was a skokie. I've got a problem with that because let's suppose I feel comfortable in it. I do want to wear suits with no short socks. But just because a skokie has come and said, don't do it, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like, ooh, probably shouldn't do it. Well, that's a shame because a skokie has just limited someone who wants to learn a little bit more in trying to be himself. And just need to remember, guys, that most of the things that you listen on social media to is most of the things are said because the people who are pushing that thing are probably selling it. Okay? So, in fact, the suits that they sell, I wouldn't wear them without socks because they're very classic. Okay? So, instead of saying to everybody, blank canvas, don't wear suits with no socks, just say, don't wear our suits without socks, because that makes sense. So it's good to give people the full information, okay? So I never do that. And obviously I'm not talking about Askoki, someone mentioned him, and I don't have any problems in mentioning it, because I do like the guys, and I think they do a great job. And I think, especially the main guy, I don't know his name, actually Askoki, his name, Aoki, I think he's great. And his suits are very good on him. I'm not sure if anybody will look good in that type of suits. But please, guys, do not listen to everybody blindly, even to myself. Don't, okay? Well, you can listen to me because I never actually push my my opinions onto anything. I can only push my view of seeing these things of suits and ties, my concept of suits and ties through our product. That's all I can do, and that's what I do. When it comes to pushing my idea onto others, I refrain from doing it because there are things I do that are very questionable, and I know how to push boundaries when it comes to myself. Okay, it doesn't mean that everything I do will work for everybody. And that's why I shouldn't tell people standard statements. So, this is Partenope, Teola, a beautiful summery tie. I think has been a little bit neglected on the platform. I really would encourage you to pop over to theroma1980.com to appreciate the beauty of this tie and how fresh it is. The reason why I designed this tie in these colors, I am happy to explain it. The Teola, the rust orange, would make this tie beautiful and beautifully wearable, and also the green in autumn winter, and the mid blue makes it very versatile for any season. Okay, so this is Tegola, is Partenope Tegola. I personally own the Partenope standard, the classic one. I designed this tie. You will see on the Roma1980.com in a beautiful variation in a burgundy and forest green. And this is a more of a, I revisited the interpretation of this tie, I would say. I don't know. I will go back to blue with this one, but I would also be tempted to put on a tobacco suit, which I don't have with me right now, unfortunately. And also, because the tie has some grey, I'm gonna switch back to the grey suit that I had earlier, which is a very old suit of mine. In fact, I don't tend to wear it much because it's a little bit tight. For the same reason that I was explaining earlier, if I do want to break some boundaries, I do it anyway. So there is a big craze in recent years about sartorialism, and it looks like many people talking about in general now, okay? I'm not referring to anyone in particular, are wanting to capitalize on this trend. And the reality is that because to look good in a suit and a tie, you need to have a basic knowledge of proportions and color matching. And not everyone has that. Those who do have a little bit of knowledge, they think they can monopolize and manipulate people's minds on social media. And that's my general feeling about everything. So when someone is making a statement about what to wear, how to wear what, just make sure you find out who that person is first and why they're saying it, what they're saying. So, look at this. I hope Partenope will really trigger your senses because it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tie. So Dylan DeBoard was engaging on Instagram. I'm always happy to see people engaging on social media when I do my live streams. I'm always very happy to see people taking part. If you got any more questions about anything, feel free, guys, to ask them. I'm always happy to share with you the truth. And the reason why I say that is because I do share the truth. The truth is always do what you feel is right for you. That's the truth. And all I can do is that when I don't like something, or when I do like something, I always like to motivate it. Okay? Technically. Stefania extended, black, with extension from Mama. Applied. Let's move on. This tie looks like it's rather long, so I'm gonna do a Prince Albert here, okay? Let's have a look what we got here. So I love black ties with brown accents. So look what we get here. Right. Did you have any style inspirations growing up that modeled your current taste in men's fashion? That's a very good question. Yes, I did. It's a very tricky one to say. I didn't have a specific person exactly growing up, but you need to know that I come from a place in Puglia, in Italy, where a specific town in Puglia where we are very famous. Me and we used to be, I don't know now to be honest, but we were very, very much renowned around the area for being a rather stylish and a little bit stuck up, I would say, town. In fact, my town, where I come from, exactly the town where I come from, is the same town where Bottega d'Almut comes from. We didn't grow up, me and him, Leonida, in the same kind of group of friends, but we grew up in the same environment, and the town is very small, okay? So we don't know each other personally, but we know who we are because we're talking about 30,000 people town. And growing up, my generation, me, my best friend Michele, we always were all about looking sophisticated, looking dapper in my town. Like going to town on a Sunday afternoon to the main square was all about showing off how good we were, with our style and our vibes. And looking at these gentlemen, well, at the time we were kids really, really growing in what they've become, what has become their style. At the time, we're talking about 20 years ago, when there was no sartorialism on social media, when sartorialism was something for the rich and that's it. And that is what molded me into the style that I have. And my town has always been about being sophisticated, classic, sartorial, but at the same time not like looking like an old man. And if you look at Bottega d'Almut, that's what he does. He does the same thing. You can see suits are beautiful. They're not old man looking. They're very fashion forward. And I do respect a lot what they do. And you can see a little bit in their style, a little bit of what we do. But obviously I'm me, he's him. We have got our own way of looking at things in particular, but the wavelength is that one, okay? So, I hope this answered the question, my dear friend. So this beauty is available on theroma1980.com, Stefania Extended, and I popped it on with a brown suit. It was calling for it, okay? I could not style it with a beautiful brown suit. I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna move on to the last style that we're gonna look at together. Again, another Regina that has gone through the hands of my mother, Lolita. Self-tipped in a beautiful jacquard pin dot, brown base, a sky blue jacquard pin dots. This tie, despite the fact that is a Regina tie, has a rather 30.000 shape. In fact, I could have easily called it 30.000 and no one would have ever realized. But I'm not about that. This is a beautiful vintage tie that is very much of a modern shape. What can I say? Come on. Guys, what can I say? I can't say anything else. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch to my navy suit. because I think it's going to look very good with this.
So I sneak out to the garden to see you. We keep quiet, cause we're dead if they knew. So close your eyes. Skip this town for a little while. Oh, cause you were me.
Please ignore the fact that the tail is a bit longer, okay? I'm not going to re-knot the tie. But if I go a little bit longer on the blade, you're not going to see much difference when it comes to the knotting, okay? So, with this tie, the live stream has unfortunately come to an end. I would like to remind the gentlemen on Instagram that they can watch this live stream on YouTube all from scratch, with a better audio and probably better video as well. And the good thing about YouTube is that you can go back and forth as much as you want, something that you can't do on Instagram. So if you got a question, feel free to drop me a message on Angelo Di Roma 1980 on Instagram. However, the best thing to get in touch with me is to email me, angelo@diroma1980.net. Feel free to drop me an email anytime you want. I'm always happy to respond to anything. It doesn't have to be product related. Remember, I do this as a passion. I don't just do this as a job. God blessed me with doing this also as a job. But it's not just a job for me, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Di Roma 1980. If you can give me a follow as well on TikTok, why not? And I'm also on Instagram, as those on Instagram already know. So, ciao a tutti, stay dapper.